Got it.
We should have sound coming in very soon. Because again, we're very low bit rates. We're only getting around like 500. It's better if we have like 1,000.
Don't even worry about how many.
It's recorded
If
at
it's a
least,
slide,
right?
yes, we're recording.
So if all else fails, we can upload it.
Right, okay, we gotta set up cameras.
It's here. It's picking us all up.
That's fine.
Just remember
Picking us all up here.
Just have a short announcement today. On behalf of my Dave family, John and Jeff and Jeffrey, I would like to thank you all for attending tonight's service. Now, I know you would like to personally extend your sympathy, but please, if you would, understand the family was unable to meet with anyone at this time. We would, however, like to thank the Medford Lakes community for all their love and support, and it is especially meaningful in that Yana's beloved Czech family was unable to attend due to COVID restrictions. Now, they'll be arriving shortly, and so the service will be starting in maybe about 5 minutes here. Thank you.
That was too distracting. Half and half for a while.
That's TV.
That's what we're going next time. It's supposed to be going. Let's get it. We'll get it going again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But it's
looks good. Do you have an outdoor filter on?
We're switching back on.
Oh, cool.
It'll probably be a little choppy because we're running it off my phone, ideally, like I said.
Okay. It's okay. Good, it's working. Thank you. Fantastic.
Okay, we got it. We're going to be recording it, so even if they can only see a slide.
Right. No, and John is going to take care of some of it later, so I'll grab a thumb from you later. And we'll get that thumb through, we'll get it together with the drones and with Spencer's, and we'll have some nice shots. Awesome.
Do you want us to?
I just need this much space right here. I had to run back and I just want to. You want some more space, Gigi? I'm fine with this right now.
Folks, we're going to need to have a perimeter around here to minimize the audio feedback. We need to have a perimeter in order to minimize audio feedback. So we're going to have to use the spaces. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm trying to do this live stream, but thank you so much. Further out? You need it further out? Come on. Where do you think? A little bit further out. Yeah. Just a bit further out. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
That's Facebook. So unfortunately, we have to do the internal one. Those are sensitive.
Nice to get people away anyway.
Also give me a buffer, that way in case the person live.
Ah, there you go.
Yep. I am currently minoring. I started in engineering, so I'm still on the list.
Okay.
They're the first ones that
That's because it's way beyond that.
Impressive that you guys can get together like that.
that's our
There you go.
that's how we work in it. There's a million things that could have gone a lot easier. This is the hard one. Thank you. What you got?
Good evening, everyone. I would like to begin with a little prayer. And perhaps some of you may recognize it. It goes something like this. Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord, my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord, my soul to take. Marquetta Erin McCabe passed quietly in her sleep sometime on March 13th, 2021. Her unexplained passing is profoundly sad. But you know, I believe with all my heart that Marquetta's energy is here with us right now. I know this because I truly believe it. Take a couple of seconds and think of a moment that you shared with Marquetta. Do it while I'm talking. And if you must, close your eyes. That might help. Maybe you were on the phone, sharing a lunch, laughing, at the beach, opening presents, being a little silly, hiking, holding hands, or just hanging out. Some of you may feel her presence, her energy. Others may hear her voice or see that beautiful smile. You see, as you're thinking of Marquetta, she is right there with you, and her energy will never fade. Well, we all know Marquetta was absolutely beautiful, and even her name is beautiful. In fact, she was named after her mom's sister, and their shared name actually means pearl, and that's how appropriate that is. However, Marquetta's beauty did not define her, nor did she want it to. It was her spirit, her sense of adventure, her compassion, her strong independence, her dedication, love for family, and in all things she touched. That was her essence. To say that Marquetta was involved would be an understatement of her interests and capabilities. She was incredibly involved. She was a Girl Scout for most of her life, deeply involved with her community, her school, student affairs, a world traveler, and definitely an environmentalist. And all this, and wickedly smart as well. Her major at Rowan was civil and environmental engineering. Not an easy course by any stretch of the imagination, but not a problem for an honors student juggling 10 things at once. So, how did this incredibly accomplished, well-rounded young lady happen? Well, it wasn't overnight. Marquetta had an incredibly well-rounded, diverse, and loving childhood. You could, in fact, make a movie or at least a documentary about it. And yes, she was a beautiful child. She has wonderful, loving parents and a brother who's her best friend. Yana and Jeff are travel and camping enthusiasts, to say the very least. And as a family, they traveled the world and did a lot of it by camping, which meant that even the McCabe youngsters had lots of jobs, and that's like building character 101. Well, this is probably where Marquetta's real and most important education began. Coupled with an incredible sense of family, these trips schooled Marquetta in love, nature, compassion, gratitude, and adding to that, a sense of independence. Her immense love of nature and the environment was born on these trips in Germany, Spain, France, Italy, Czech Republic, and all over the U.S., especially the national parks. Marquetta loved visiting these beautiful parks. And in fact, she was a member of the National Junior Ranger Program. And you know what? My guess is she probably taught them a thing or two. The McCabe's, by the way, visited 11 parks in 30 days, and that is like amazing. What an accomplishment. Well, as we know, the McCabe family was well-traveled and had a great many stories about their travels. But one stands out above the rest, for me at least. Every 2 years or so, Jana would want to return to the Czech Republic to visit Grandma and Grandpa and her beloved family. In preparing their journey, Jeff and Jana gave Marquetta the honor of selecting the first country of their tour. She selected Iceland. Well, why Iceland, you may ask? I mean, it certainly wasn't known for its tropical climate. Well, Marquetta had just finished watching the movie The Secret Life of Walter Mitty and was so taken by the extreme beauty of the countryside, she had to find out where it was filmed. 2 guesses. Turns out it was primarily filmed in Iceland. So, 7 beautiful, somewhat bone-chilling days camping in Iceland had kicked off their travels, followed by an additional week sleeping in tents in Norway. Again, very beautiful. Yes, it was cold, and yes, it built character, and yes, it had Marquetta's fingerprints all over it. And by the way, from there they went on to Paris, to Grandma's, and then to Grandma's. This was kind of like the McCabe version of Over the River and Through the Woods. Marquetta's sense of adventure and independence was greatly influenced by her mom, and was not limited to travel by any stretch of the imagination. So it was appropriate, on one of the trips to the Czech Republic, Marquetta celebrated her 8th grade graduation by doing, what would one think, skydiving. Now, just so you know, Marquetta was too young to skydive in the U.S. So obviously that did not stop her. And as a future engineer, she had a solution for every problem. Now fast forward a few years later, and her love for astronomy, which she learned from her dad, inspired her to reserve a seat for a trip to the moon. How cool is that? And you know, I bet Marquetta would have been the most loving and caring human being on the moon. Well, back here in Medford Lakes, where Marquetta grew up, she enjoyed a great family life. She acquired her dad's sense of humor and silliness. And in fact, they even had their own language, which sometimes would drive Donna up a wall, if you will. Her creative and artistic abilities came from both Jeff and Jana, as did her love for travel and nature. Her independence, fearlessness, and sense of conviction was learned from her mom. Marquetta's best friend of friends was her brother Jeffrey. They advised and counseled each other, laughed, and were just plain silly at times, traveled in close quarters, and still remained each other's best buds. No 2 siblings were ever closer. A big part of Marketta's life was her extended family. Whether in the Czech Republic or the U.S., she cherished her time with her grandparents, Bubby, and Vida, Mum, and Jimbo, special aunts and uncles, and especially her cousins. Family was so very important to Marketta. Marketta was truly one of a kind. She stood out because of what she did, not what she said. She was a friend to those who had no friends. She fed those who had no food. She supported those who fought for their rights. She came to the aid of those who were bullied and came down on those who scorched the earth. She walked the walk, and all through it held her head high and lived and laughed a lot, loved and gave back. You know, sometimes someone comes along and leaves such a strong impression on you that you know that that person must be special. Marketta Erin McCabe was that person. One of her most endearing traits was her gratefulness. I would like to close now by reading some of Marketta's writings, composed at some point in her young life, somewhere between 8 and 12 years old. Simple list. This is entitled, Thankful For. Mom and Dad, Jeffrey, Lily, friends, school, food and water, shelter, knowledge, health, safety, comfort, the privilege of being alive. This beautiful list is a total reflection of Marketta. What incredible insight. And these are some of life's lessons by young Marketta. How to be yourself. 1, don't take part in conversations in which you truthfully don't agree with. 2, don't change your language for anyone. 3, don't talk about others so you fit in. 4, don't try to be like anyone else around you. You'll lose who you are. 5, remember who's important to you and why. This is kind of my favorite. How to be happy. Think less, simple, smile more, listen to happy music, pet a dog, watch TV, go outside, Xbox, friends, read every day, take a shower, make your bed, tell Bella to take a nap, have a catch, and try to keep the bad thoughts away. There are some who bring a light so great to the world that even after they have gone, the light remains. Thank you, Marketta, for everything you have given us. Your light will always shine bright. Marketta's 20th birthday is April 17th. Please take a moment on that day and wish her happy birthday, and while you're doing that, look up towards the moon. I think she's arrived. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Emma Howell. I'm a childhood friend of Marquetta. Saying Marquetta had an impact on every person standing here today. Her happiness was contagious. I think of my childhood, the first thing that comes to my mind is Marquetta. From our first day at Come and Play to playing our first ever high school field hockey game together, and everything you can think of has been Marquetta by my side. Sense of adventure and amazing outlook on life that I remember having such a strong impact on me at such a young age. She completely lived her life with the mindset that we only have so long and to do and see as much as you can in these short years. She taught me the value of a true friendship, and that's something I will forever be grateful for. Never in a million years did I think I would have to stand here in front of you all and speak about my childhood memories with Marquetta. But these past few days have put everything into perspective. Tomorrow's never guaranteed, so live your life like Marquetta. See and do as much as you can in these short years we call life. Marquette, your beautiful long blonde hair and contagious laugh will forever live on my heart.
Everyone who knew Marquetta knew that she was one of the kindest, most gentle people on the planet. She strived to see the best in others and always made her loved ones feel supported and appreciated. She always made me feel that way. I always admired how much pride she took in giving back to her community and in trying to make the world a better place. She was the only one in our whole Girl Scout troop to complete all of her bronze, silver, and gold awards. She was thoughtful and resilient and committed to the things and the people that she cared about. She was goofy and always laughing, and she was one of the smartest people I've ever met. The thing I've learned from Marquetta that I will try to be appreciative and observant she was of the world around her. Whenever we spent time together, camping, having a sleepover, biking around town, watching movies at her house or otherwise, it seemed as though she was taking time to admire each leaf, flower, tree, insect, cloud, rock, or anything else she came upon. She fully understood the importance of being present and appreciating each moment, and she never took the beauty of the universe around her for granted. She never wasted a moment on this earth. Marquetta, I love you so much, and I'll miss you forever.
Spending time with Marquetta was always memorable no matter how brief the interaction was. Her creativity and determination was evident to everyone she met, and this showed through her personal and academic achievements. One of my favorite memories of Marquetta is from 5th grade. We wore the same justice sweater one weekend. That day, she became the mastermind behind our plan to wear the same outfit to school one day later that week. She made me promise to keep it a secret that we planned our outfits together, but after that first day, we ended up planning matching outfits every week. Despite her denials, it became obvious to everyone that we were planning our outfits, but her determination made us both stick to our story week after week. I don't think any of us ever admitted it to anyone until now. Being with her was always the start of a new adventure. It's difficult to imagine a memory from my childhood without Marquetta. So many of my favorite and more spontaneous memories include her. From walking our dogs together to us trying to eat dandelions because she thought they were edible, to calling me freaking out because she needed more hair dye after running out with half her hair growth. These are some of my favorite memories that come to mind when I think of her vibrant and confident personality. Marquetta was the type of person who left an impact on everyone she met. This was a beautiful person inside and out, and I know that everyone here is as grateful as I am to have memories with and of her. She's been my role model since I first played it in 3rd grade, and I still aspire to be as genuine, intelligent, driven individual as her. first met Marquetta my freshman year of high school, and I think it was in Miss Fox's geometry class where we really solidified our friendship. Where instead of doing our work, we watched YouTube videos, but I swear we were good students. I don't think I'll ever meet anyone like her again. She was one of a kind. Marquetta always had this positive energy radiating around her, and she lit up any room she walked into. You wanted to be around her, and she was so easy to talk to and made you feel comfortable. Her kindness and generosity was something I continuously admired. Marquetta was always putting the needs of others in front of her own and wouldn't hesitate to offer help to someone. She really cared about the people with all her heart. Throughout the past 6 years I've known Marquetta, although it feels like I've known her forever, we have shared countless of memories together. From eating Pop-Tarts before cross-country practice, bowling, to long hours of studying physics, and the occasional late-night 7-Eleven run. Some of the best times we had were when we would just hang out and talk about literally everything and anything. All the times I spent with Marquetta were happy and fun, and we're always laughing. I will cherish those memories for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I was able to become such great friends with Marquetta, and I'm honored to be able to call her one of my best friends. She made a lasting impact on my life and inspired me to be a better person. Marquetta was truly a wonderful person, and she will forever be in my heart. Rest in peace, Marquetta. I love you, bud. As I'm sure many of you can relate, the first thing I noticed about Marquetta was her long blonde hair. We were in Mrs. Hubner's first grade class, and although her beautiful hair was the reason we first became friends, our friendship grew. Our friendship grew and evolved over the next 15 years into something that means more to me than I can even begin to describe. She was so many things. She was kind and caring, genuine and thoughtful. She had a captivating spirit and a brilliant smile. But she was so much more than that. The Marquetta I knew was silly and sarcastic. She was adventurous and spontaneous. The Marquetta I knew was silly and sarcastic. She was adventurous and spontaneous. She was my partner in crime. Marquetta had the biggest sweet tooth of anyone I've ever met. Chocolate, cake, cookies, anything. One summer night in high school, we wanted to do something different, and we decided it was a good idea to go pick up the leftover donuts from the Dunkin' dumpster. Jeffrey, Marquetta, and I biked over and picked out the trash bag filled with donuts. We left the Dunkin' parking lot, each of us with a bag filled with donuts, ready to bring them back to their house for our late night snack. But while we biked, the bag that Jeffrey was holding got caught in his bike, and it tore open. After laughing for about 10 minutes, we biked home with the surviving donuts, and Jeffrey was there. Marquetta's house has always been my favorite house to visit. Every time I went there, she had picked up my favorite snack, salt and vinegar chips, despite the fact that no one in her house really ate them. That's the type of person she was. Filled with compassion for those around her and always making sure that those she loved were taken care of. Marquetta was always looking for adventure and excitement. Whether it was a treasure hunt that her dad created for us around the house, hiking with her family all over the world, or skydiving at 14. I loved hearing her stories, and I always looked forward to going on future adventures with my best friend. Without fail, every trip she went on, she came back with a collection of gifts and souvenirs from her travels. I have rocks from the beach in Iceland, a keychain from Spain, a beautiful clock from Prague that sits in my living room. She made sure her friends knew she was thinking of them while she was off traveling the world. When I came back home this week, I went looking for all the things she had given me over the years. And in my hunt for these mementos, I also found the notes and cards that came along with them. I read over her words and was reminded of how much life we had lived through together. Her notes were always filled with hopes for the future and memories from our past. She signed each letter with, "I love you forever." Her love was infinite and unconditional, and I'm grateful to have known it. I love you forever, Marquetta.
Hi everyone, my name is Dana, and Marquetta and I met at Rowan the first night of our freshman year. She had her beautiful blonde hair up in a ponytail and was wearing her signature white headband. She had a smile from ear to ear, and she just seemed so cool. I thought to myself, wow, I really want to be friends with this girl. I was lucky because we had almost the same schedule and we hit it off right away. We were spending so much time together, we quickly became best friends. Marquetta rode her bike everywhere freshman year. Whenever she rode it, we would always tell her to lock it, but she never did. Inevitably, it would always get stolen. And this thing was rusty, so we could easily spot it wherever it was. One time, coming from the science building, Marquetta was walking with us because her bike got stolen again. We passed a bike rack, and there it was. "Hey, that's my bike," Marquetta said, and we all started laughing, and I said, "Marquetta, does this mean you're going to start liking your bike now?" Marquetta shook her head and said no. I liked the fact that it was there for someone who really needed it, and now it came back to me. That just sums up the type of person Marquetta was and how she lived her life. Super thoughtful, never got mad at anyone, always saw the good in people, and cared about everyone, even if she didn't know them personally. I still don't know why or how we hit it off so well, because while we were similar in so many aspects of each other, we were exact opposites in others. And she embodied everything I aspired to be. This week, as we were in her room to get some belongings of hers to put out during this ceremony, we found a canvas where she drew a picture of my mom. My mom passed away a couple years ago, and Marquetta was going to give me the drawing as a gift. She wasn't able to give it to me herself, but I believe Marquetta let me to find it now to tell me that they are both okay. I promise now, my friend, to live a little more like you did, by seeing the good in people and showing constant compassion to those. I hope you're designing police drones and solar powerhouses with that brilliant mind of yours and exploring all aspects of nature up there. I love you forever. Love, Dana.
Hi everyone. My name is Jessie. I started as Marquetta's freshman roommate at Rowan, but she quickly became one of the best friends I've ever had. I like to think I saw Marquetta in a different light than most people did, because we could really be ourselves together. So when I see everyone remembering her as an angel, I think that's something she might have laughed at. In the past week, whenever my emotions overwhelmed me and my mind raced, I turned to poetry as an outlet. So I had prepared a poem for today to really describe Marquetta as I knew and loved her. It's called More Than an Angel. Marquetta was more than an angel. Her voice was loud, defiant. It rings in my mind a reverberating bell to remind me that to be perfect is to be boring, and an angel is simply too boring to be Marquetta. Her energy was brilliant, her joy radiant, and her love like sunshine, warm and sweet. Her passion for life sparked a fire that blazed within us all. And sometimes, when the world was ugly, her flame flickered and dimmed. But even when her voice was quiet, her heart still glowed for us, like moonlight, soft and sure. Marquetta was always there. Every day as her kindness shined and her smile gleamed, her beauty was explosive, like a supernova among the stars she gazed. Exquisite and impossible to ignore. Marquetta was the sun, the moon, and all of the brightest stars. She was better than beautiful, sweeter than perfect, more than an angel. She was an entire universe.
Kate family members, thank you all for being here to celebrate the life of Marquetta. I'm Dr. Kausar Jahan, Department Head of Civil and Environmental Engineering at Rowan University. The Civil and Environmental Engineering Department at Rowan is all about TLC, teamwork, leadership, community. And this is what attracted Marquetta to transfer to our department last summer. As I helped her to transfer, I knew right away that she was a kind, loving soul who cared about community and the environment. In the prescribed time that each of us has in this world, we want to be remembered by our love, kindness, and compassion. Marquetta embodied these values with joy and grace. It is no wonder that my last interaction with her was on Valentine's Day. Every year, the department asks students to tell us why they love civil engineering. We reward our students with a civil engineering t-shirt, a heart-shaped box of chocolates, and an I Love Civil Engineering button. Marquetta, of course, rose to the occasion and responded to my call and stated, "This major gives me the opportunity strengths in science and math to part of society." A kindred spirit gone too soon, never to be forgotten. To Marquetta's family members, Jeff, Yana, and her beloved brother Jeffrey, we share your profound, deep wounds that are carved in our hearts forever. Let us find comfort that in a short time, Marquetta touched all of us with her joy of living, her kindness, her compassion, and care for the world. May her spirit, may we cherish her memory. Thank you.
Hello. Today is the vernal equinox. For those that may not be as science-minded as Marquetta was, it's the time of the year where the amount of daylight equals the amount of darkness. Moving forward from this day and this season, the amount of daylight gets longer, driving out, diminishing the darkness. I think it's a fitting day to commemorate Marquetta. Gail and I are here to talk about the Girl Scouts and Marquetta's involvement. The Girl Scout mission statement is to build girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. And man, did Marquetta embody that mission statement. As a Daisy Girl Scout in kindergarten and up through her younger years, she enjoyed earning badges, camping at Cattle Run, selling cookies, and doing activities with her friends in the troop. As Marquetta got older and reached the higher levels, she embraced the opportunity to earn the bronze, silver, and gold awards. In a troop that some years approached almost 30 scouts, Marquetta was the only one in that group to earn a gold award. Marquetta's drive to achieve these awards seemed boundless. She immersed herself in recreating a more durable and easier to use animal jeopardy game for the Cedar Run Wildlife Refuge. While doing this project, she gained so much courage by realizing she could take her ideas and make them real. Marquetta's next project was to revamp a beautiful garden at Nita School. For this, she used her courage and gained knowledge about recruiting volunteers, fundraising efforts, time management, budgeting, communicating with local businesses for support and donations. All of this contributed to secure her confidence in herself and her abilities to make the world a better place. Looking ahead to the highest award that can be achieved in Girl Scouts, Marquetta used the courage and confidence she had gained and took a huge endeavor of creating and constructing a 3D working model of groundwater flow in our town to be utilized by our schools and for the borough. Marquetta's dedication to this project, from an idea to completion, it involved over 120 hours of her time. It was very inspiring. Working with an out-of-state 3D printing company, the Medford Lakes Environmental Commission, and borough planning, local businesses and organizations, peers and family, she earned her gold award. Marquetta would not have been able to accomplish all this had it not been for her character. When you look at her gold project on the table, way back over there, let it bring to mind her passion for the environment, her ability to bring her goals to fruition, her desire to give back to her community. Despite all these Girl Scout accolades, Marquetta was not comfortable being in the spotlight. While working on Habitat for Humanity project in Key West, she started getting some sort of rash on her arm, and she'd forgotten to bring her EpiPen to the construction site. After polling both the bossy and non-bossy moms, it was clear no one wanted to be the one to call Yana to tell her that her daughter had met a plant that didn't like her. So Kimberly Cable made the hour-plus trip back to her lodgings to find Marquetta's EpiPen. And let me tell you, Marquetta was not pleased about the fuss. She was very upset that we went to all that trouble. By the time Kimberly got back with the EpiPen, the rash was gone. Turns out Marquetta was right. We shouldn't have made a big deal about it. Marquetta's footprint on this town is a great example of how Girl Scouts made an impact on her life and how she made an impact on others, all while demonstrating courage, confidence, and character, embodying what it meant to be a Girl Scout. In addition to reflecting on Marquetta's Girl Scout accomplishments, we should all thank the McCabe family. Thank you so much for sharing Marquetta's luminance with us. Know that Marquetta has left an indelible mark upon all of us. She has showed us how to be a little more kinder to each other. She has showed us how to smile with your eyes, pretty important when wearing masks this year. She has showed us how sometimes it's okay to cut loose and be really silly. And she showed us how to be more passionate about protecting the planet upon which we all walk. Thank you.
I'm Gail Snyder. I was one of Marquetta's Girl Scout leaders. One of the things Marquetta and our Girl Scout troop loved to do when we went camping was launch wish boats at night. Wish boats are made out of biodegradable materials such as tree bark, flower dough, and beeswax candles. The girls light the candle on their boat and set it to sail on the lake while making a wish. The following is part of the wish boat camp song. Who can sail where there is no wind, with no oars to be rowing? Who can sail far away from a friend, with no tears a flowing? I can sail where there is no wind, with no oars to be rowing, but I can't sail far away from a friend, with no tears a flowing. I'll send my wishes out over the sea, in little boats all a-glowing. I'll make a wish for you and me, with our love a-flowing. And as our candles drift away, a wish we are making for you. We hope to see you again someday, and may our wish come true. As we conclude tonight's celebration of life, some of our local scouts will be setting to sail wish boats in honor of Marquetta. They'll be launching them over there. On behalf of the family, we would like to thank you for coming. Girl Scouts, please begin launching your boats.
all for coming. That completes the ceremony for this evening. Thank you.
I'm going to